Hello. Hello. Welcome back to Time to Read with moi, as in me, as in Catherine. I have many bunnies here because it's recently been Easter. It's recently been Easter here in Australia. So I have all these Easter bunnies. What? And our favourite little Gingy is my son's little favourite little dude at the mo, or forever. So he's just going to sit there. So we'll say hello from the sloth. There's always a sloth around here, isn't there? But we're going to read some French. Has anyone read French before? We're going to read Fancy Nancy. She loves French and she's very fancy. So let's all be fancy together, hey? What do you say, Gingy? What do you say, bunnies? Hey? So many bunnies! So many! Okay. Alright, let's cut. Ooh, so soft. Okay, this one, I have many Fancy Nancy's, so let's get cracking. We'll read one or two. We'll see how long it takes. This one is called Fancy Nancy. Okay. Maybe they're all called different stuff. No. Hang on. Fancy Nancy. Alright. Fancy Nancy. Oodles of Kittens. This one's just called Fancy Nancy. And this one's called And the Posh Puppy. Okay, so maybe this is the first one. Don't quote me on that one, alright? Alright. I love being fancy. Look at those amazing pictures. I love being fancy, said Fancy Nancy. My favourite colour is fuchsia. That is fancy way of saying purple. I like to write my name with a pen that has a plume. That's a fancy way of saying feather. And I can't wait to learn French because everything in French sounds fancy. Nobody in my family is fancy at all. They never even ask for sprinkles. They must have gone out and got some ice cream. Look, they're all a bit plainly dressed, aren't they, compared to Fancy Nancy? She's very fancy. There's a lot they don't understand. Lace-trimmed socks do help me play football better. Sandwiches definitely taste better when you stick in frilly toothpicks. A princess is supposed to keep her tiara on. What's a fancy girl to do? I asked my doll Maribel. Her name is Maribel Lavinia Chandelier. There's Maribel. See there with the toothpicks? If you can see that there. She's very fancy. Or fancy, depends how you want to say it. Then I get an idea that is stupendous. It is a fancy word for great. Maybe I can teach my family how to be fancy. I make an advert and stick it on the fridge. Learn to be fancy. Lessons from Nancy starts today. Fancy, fun and free. I reckon she could have used the word advertisement there instead of advert, don't you? Be a bit more posh. Soon there is a knock on my door. My family saw the advertisement. They went to get started right away. Here we go. See the difference between plain, yellow, fancy, gold. Plain, leather, fancy, patent leather, which is shiny leather. And glasses and fancy is sunglasses. There we go. And they're all listening away to their daughter Nancy. She's very, very fancy. What do you think, Jen? Going alright? The trouble is my family doesn't own any fancy clothes. That's okay. I go and find, what is that fancy word? Oh yes, some accessories. And there they are, all plain. She's gone to find some accessories. Look at them all. bags and bows and shoes, all sorts, and hats. Ooh la la, my family is posh. That's a fancy word for saying fancy. My mum twirls in front of the mirror. Why don't we go somewhere fancy tonight? How about dinner at the King's Crown, Dad suggests. Wow, my parents are acting fancier already. Look at Mum. She's very fancy. Dad? Oh la la, they're looking very suave. Don't you think, all bunnies? May I escort you lovely ladies outside? The limousine is waiting. My dad is our chauffeur. That's a fancy way of saying driver. So here's the limousine, fancy way of saying car, and chauffeur, fancy way of saying driver. When we arrive at the King's Crown, everyone looks up. They probably think we're movie stars. Look at them there. Oh wow, look at that. Oh, so trendy. So stylish. I am so proud of my whole family. They eat with their pinkies and call each other darling. Have you done that? With your pinky up in the air, call each other darling. Oh darling, please pass me the sugar. Oh, they're having a lovely time, aren't they? For dessert, let's have parfait, my mum says. That's French for ice cream sundaes. Amazing, my mother knows French. When our parfaits are ready, I curtsy and say, merci. That's thank you in French, isn't it? Merci. So there she is, she's getting her parfaits. Fancy Nancy's about to get them. I carry the tray like a fancy waiter. Oops, I trip, I slip. The tray does a double flip. Oh no. I don't know if anyone noticed that, but see, look, the shoe. If we look back, her shoe there, all untied. There she's done a double flip. Oh, Ginge. I don't feel fancy anymore. I want to go home. Oh no. She doesn't feel fancy anymore. She's all covered in parfait. And lots of it. Good enough to eat, probably. Liquor. After I get all cleaned up, I put on my peignoir. That's a French word for dressing gown. I feel much better. I'm ready for a parfait. I tell my parents, thank you for being fancy tonight. Oh, look at them all cute. They're with their sister. Mum's making a parfait at home now. Oh, it's nice, isn't it? Everyone's all in their jammies and all cleaned up. I love you, my dad says. I love you, my mum says. And all I can say back is I love you. Because there isn't a fancy or better way of saying that. Oh, that's right. I love you. It's a very beautiful word that we say to our family and friends and people we love. The end. Oh, did you like that, Ginge? Did everyone like that? Yep. Woohoo! 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 You like that? Okay. I'm gonna lie up there with the Ginge. Oh, what are you doing? Oh no. Oh, they're snuggling in now. Snuggling in. Alright, well if you're snuggling in, let's read another one. Let's read Fancy Nancy and the Posh Puppy. Alright. Everyone ready for more fancy words? Posh Puppy. before they start. They're just walking along. People are walking their dogs. She's got a bit of a cushion. I think she doesn't have one yet. I'm ecstatic. It's a fancy word for happy. We're going to get a puppy. A real one. There she is. Making her sister into a puppy. A real puppy. She's ecstatic. I hope we get a papillon, like our neighbour's dog. You say it like a papillon in French. It means butterfly. Oh, look at that papillon. You see that little dog there? Very, very small. The French neighbour. Ooh la la. So much Frenchness. I help Mrs. Devine take care of Jewel. Jewel's the dog. We take her to the beauty salon. We buy her new ensembles. That's a fancy word for clothes. Papillons are so posh. That's a fancy word for fancy. Oh yes, we learned that in the last book, didn't we? Posh. Fancy word for fancy. There's the dog. Getting his hair all done. Jewel. Could be a girl. There is only one problem, my parents. Oh, there is only one problem. My parents. Papillons like to stay indoors, my dad says. They're too little. And delicate, my mum says. What about one of these dogs? Oh, they've got these big pictures. These dogs. I shake my head. Too big. Too brown. Too plain. Ugh, sometimes it's hard being the only fancy person in the family. What's Fancy Nancy to do? Then I get an idea that is spectacular. That's a fancy word for great. We can puppy sit for Jewel. My parents say, okay. So does Mrs. Devine. My family will see how happy we'll be with a puppy on puppy. There we go. We're going to look after the neighbour's dog. See if they do like the papillon, the little one. I introduced my doll, Maribel. Oh, there's Maribel. There's the dog. She's introducing them. Don't you love these pictures? Gorgeous pictures. I show my sister how to groom Jewel and how to scoop her poop. She's got the hairdresser there. And she's scooping the poop. Fancy Nancy. My sister wants to hold and kiss Jewel. I tell her you must be gentle. What a responsible girl you are, my mum says. Some dog is going to be very lucky. Merci, I say. That's French for thank you. Two of my friends are walking their dogs. Come over to my house, I say. I'm puppy sitting. All the dogs can play together. So with their friends. With their friends and their dogs. Rusty splashes in the paddling pool. Jewel hides behind his legs. Scamp plays fetch. Go, Jewel. Go get the ball, I tell Jewel. She just looks at me. She gets exhausted pretty quickly. I tell my friends that's a fancy word for tired. While Jewel gets her beauty rest, we have refreshments. Fancy word for snack, I guess. This puppy. Oh no. Look what my sister's doing. Poor Jewel is terrified. Mum, come quick. Jewel is going to be sick. Oh no. There's his sister. And there's the dog is about to throw up. Oh no. Can't have that, can we? When we get a papillon, I'm not letting her near it, I say. My mum whispers, she doesn't know better. She was trying to be nice. I know that. We take Jewel back to her house. She's a perfect dog for Mrs. Devine, but maybe she isn't the perfect dog for us. Oh no. Maybe she's nice for the dear older lady, she's French and doesn't, you know, big posh compared to the sister and the mum and dad. I'm so sad I hardly get fancy when we go to the King's Crown for dinner. Oh, they're back to dinner. She's feeling very sad now. Very sad. On the way home, we drive by the animal shelter. Let's take a look, Mum says. All those dogs need a family to love them. I asked the lady, are there any fancy dogs here? And she says, I think I have the dog just for you. She's funny and playful and smart and cuddly, and her name is Frenchie. Ah, look at that dog there, Frenchie. Fancy Nancy looks pretty happy. Frenchie, I like the sound of that. Frenchie runs right to me and jumps in my lap. She licks it, likes it when my sister hugs her too. Frenchie is the perfect dog for us. Aww, she's gorgeous, isn't she? Gets along with the whole family. My dad says Frenchie is La Sale Spaniel. That is a very unique breed. Unique is fancy for one of a kind. Look, they're having a big party now, introducing Frenchie. Oh, wow. And you know what? Maybe that's even better than fancy. There we go. Fancy Nancy's very happy. The end. Ah, Fancy Nancy and the Posh Puppy. And then they reached that Fancy Nancy book. Well, I reckon that's going to be it for today's Fancy Nancy's. We have lots of Fancy Nancy's. And then I found other books as well. Don't you worry about that. Yeah, so we'll say goodbye. Who's going to say goodbye? I think you're going to say goodbye again because you said hello. So bye-bye from Fancy Nancy and Gingy and all our bunnies. Ooh, they're so big. Hey? And we'll say farewell till next time. Don't forget to leave any messages, subscribe, or tell me anything. Write a little message. Of course, all lovely positive ones are most welcome.